What's up? It's Tucker Carlson records interview with Sam Hyde. That's our topic tonight, and we have a little video to kind of set the table for this. And this is, let's see, where is it?
Oh shit!
It's the Fox
There we
News
go.
interview, right?
Yeah, this is a Fox News when it was a the Ukraine war was a breaking story. Tucker reported on his featured guest, Sam Hyde.
Bellicose noises on social media. Just the other day, Kinzinger posted images on Twitter of a Ukrainian air ace called the Ghost of Kyiv. He downed Russian MiGs left and right. Well, it turns out the whole thing was a hoax, but of course Adam Kinzinger had no idea because he knows nothing. Quote, the Ghost of Kyiv has a name, and he has absolutely owned the Russian Air Force, he tweeted. Imagine a sitting member of Congress tweeting about a war like it's a cable news segment. He absolutely owned the Russian Air Force. Really? Get some respect.
Owned.
People are dying, buffoon. Kinzinger then attached an obviously photoshopped image of the comedian Sam Hyde sitting in the cockpit of a fighter jet.
Nice. He did. So he did acknowledge this is Sam Hyde. So I'm sure he had heard of Sam Hyde before this, but obviously at this point he did not.
Hyde, for the record, is not a Ukrainian fighter ace. He is once again a comedian.
That's incredible. I forgot that he actually named Sam in that segment. Like I thought that he was just like gonna say like comedian, but the fact that he did that makes me think that maybe his producer, like, because I doubt that at that point Tucker was privy to Sam. I think that his producer was like, make sure you emphasize that this is Sam Hyde because he thought it'd be funny, and it was. So
Right.
mission accomplished.
I was gonna say that was a world news story at the time, the Ghost of Kyiv, and again it was a Sam Hyde hoax on something that never happened, wasn't true, but portraying Sam in the role of this hero or anti-hero at the center of the news story. So I like that Tucker and his producer picked this out as like making fun of people on the left because they don't get the meme, they don't get the idea of humor. So, but now Tucker's going to have Sam on his new show, cable show, Tucker Network, and we're going to dive into that. But let's first hear some stuff from Leo G.
I'm eating ice cream right now.
He's eating ice cream right now. Come on, Biden.
This is an oldie. It's goodie but oldie.
So is this your voice?
No, this is some girl from Snapchat I just randomly sampled. It's a little quiet.
I like this.
Old. I actually did a re-envision of this and I haven't exported it yet, but I really need to.
Is this going to be up in the Discord?
It sure can be.
We'll have it tomorrow in the Discord.
Right now.
Right now, it's up in the Meme Ranch Discord now. What do you say, Kalen? You ready to dive into the story?
Yeah, my mouse died, but we can dive into it now.
Nice.
I have the Sam Hyde story pulled up. So this was something that basically he wanted to get out ahead of, and then there was this Twitter post that basically broke the news to everyone that this was going to happen. And I was a little bit skeptical that it was even going to happen, but there's this Sam and Nick clip, and Sam basically gives the whole story about what happened. Sam says that he reached out to Tucker. I assume that this was shortly after the DC show where I saw him at. It was an amazing stand-up performance. It was hilarious. I think the order, honestly, for me was Alex Schultz, Sam, and then everyone else that performed. But everyone did a really good job. And I can't wait for those tapes to come out. We have some tapes that we want to show you guys. But yeah, back on the Tucker subject, we're basically looking at Sam giving his account of reaching out to Tucker about going on the Tucker Carlson network. So let's see what he said.
Wait, you have it right?
Oh yeah, sorry, it did not go through. Damn it.
Oopsies.
There we go. Oopsies.
Here we go.
Yeah. Make that full screen.
Tucker more?
Oh yeah, it was cool.
Let's talk about that. Tucker Carlson calls you up. He bangs your line. He says,
He
"Sam,"
called me saying, "It's crazy, man. I've been watching all this stuff." No, I hit him up.
and he was like, "Come on."
Yeah,
And you went up there.
hmm
And you went out to dinner with him.
we had dinner at his at the same place we shot the podcast. His studio is. He shoots the podcast at the dining room table.
Wow.
Yeah.
What'd you have for dinner?
He had a chef come by. There was steak and rice and sort of just Maine cooking, home cooked type style swag.
Was he
It
suited?
was,
Swag.
it was great.
Yeah. Did he have a? Was he
You know,
casual?
it was preppy.
Yeah.
Preppy casual, Maine casual. Actually, I can't remember what he wore during the interview. It's probably one of those.
There's so
checked,
many fucking
shirts.
wires.
So
So he wants to interview you.
he interviewed me.
Yeah.
I reached out to him though. It was not the other way around. I hit him up.
Interview me. Ask me a question. Go ahead, ask me.
That's what I said to him.
3 margaritas, please.
I said, "Hey,
On
can
the
you
Ghost of
interview me real
Kyiv.
Do you have any
Interview.
alcohol? I'm drinking. What did you wear?
I wore the Scuffed Realtor shirt, John Stupid 2.
Nice.
I gave Nick the best plug that I could give
Oh yeah, thanks, man.
for Scuffed Realtor.
Thanks, pal.
And I did not wear a hat, which may have been a mistake. My hair is thinning.
No, it's
I
not.
got to get on that. I'm going to start taking drugs for that.
Go to Turkey, my friend.
Yeah.
Go to Turkey.
Just some
I
extensions, some
understand
Chris
that.
extensions.
I'll go to
in there.
Turkey to that super hospital where you go. You ever see that? Hair by
I saw that, yeah.
The Turkey hospital where you go and get like your cancer screen, your blood work, your lip injections, your hair.
Mhm.
It's like the nicest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, so you're out there. You stayed up with him, and good guy.
He's worked in media his whole life, and I suspect that he's a really good guy. Yeah,
Yeah, Maine, and he chose Maine.
and a Mainer now, and a family man, and I liked him a lot.
Kamala Harris's slogan.
I'm sexy.
She is sexy.
She is sexy.
You think she's sexy?
I think there's. I would not. I have no interest in it.
Would you hit it?
No.
Come on.
No.
Probably be pretty good.
I mean, I was talking to
What
Tucker
the
about this
fuck?
topic. I was talking to
Hey,
Tucker
Caleb.
Carlson about this.
Yes.
It's
yeah,
not my
yeah.
flavor.
I think that's a
but
good place
listen,
to stop it. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
What do you think the significance of the meeting of these minds will be?
I think that we're seeing we've been saying for months that it seems weird that Sam and his company weren't as involved with the culture war as they were because their audience was.
We've been saying that privately.
Yeah, we've been saying that privately for sure. And so it only makes sense that this is happening. I mean, I feel like the 2024 election is all about the crazy crossovers. Like what can unfold. I think that we're seeing that with Trump saying that he wants Elon Musk to play a role in his administration. I think we're seeing that with all of the Democrats who have sided over, like Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. And so I think that this is just more fuel to that theme. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like it's just, these audiences, they have so much overlap. It's kind of, I think, the best attempt I've seen in a long time for the right to try to get with the culture, but not in like a forced way, but just in a more organic type of way. And it'll really make or break depending on if Trump wins, this whole Peter Thiel project, this whole like sort of like merging influencers. It could theoretically kind of topple over if Trump doesn't win. And I think that this is going full steam ahead, trying to make that happen.
If you said if,
I'm saying if Trump loses, then
you mean if it's not rigged again.
Yeah, if it's not rigged again, for sure. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I listened to this Eric Weinstein podcast last night, and he was like talking about, could it just be the fact that they're not going to let Trump win?
No fucking kidding. I mean, it still boggles my mind how not only did we let this shit like go on, but as well as like there was like actual evidence of these lots that were not even houses. They were just fucking empty lots that were, the mail ballots. You know what I mean? That shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, and there's tons of questions about will the courts even look at election challenges
So just
everything's over.
For the people who don't know much about Sam, I thought I pulled this up real quick. This is the. Tell us about it.
Image,
Yeah,
man.
tell us about it.
Ah. This is a man that believes in America.
That image,
He believes in
that image haunts me in my dreams.
What he said something
This
in
image became
clip, I can't
famous when there was
remember.
I think it was some sort of a shooting, mass shooting, and the news reported.
Every mass shooting.
Yeah, it pops back up. So frequently.
Well, some kid made a meme about this like around that time, and then that's what really like made it pop off because they were associating Sam with the school shooter.
So Sam has been
bullshit.
really too hot to touch from I guess the political right for a long time, or just not the left, and it's for things like this. He's like I guess his comedy is a bit edgelord for the mainstream, which makes it awesome,
A
right?
bit?
It makes it.
Let's say it's probably way more than the average edge, and I'm not talking about the goon sessions.
I feel like in some ways,
God, tough crowd. Holy shit!
I like it. I was too focused on the follow up. That's good though. But no, I feel like in some ways Twitter has accelerated the tolerance of the edge, the tolerance of the goon sesh.
Could we
And-
go as far as to say Elon? Yeah, I was going to say
Definitely 'cause
Elon's
of Elon.
influence on that.
Yeah, and I think that all ties back into what we're seeing.
Is this is Twitter now?
Yeah, this is. I mean, Twitter is basically glorified 4chan. It's sanctioned 4chan at this point.
But the fact that now Tucker's going to have Sam Hyde on, which is and like, yeah, it
4chan
is.
for liberal.
But now Tucker's bringing somebody who is kind of a radioactive. You know, you couldn't have a comedian on like this, or his like the MDE guys. You couldn't even acknowledge their existence really. And I think it's a major milestone that they're able to embrace somebody like Sam.
So I think that to kind of like pontificate on this, have you guys seen the Palestine video that him and Jet Neptune did, like back when the war first broke out?
No, I don't think so.
This is a more immediate example, I would say, that you could go back in Sam's trove of all the content that he's ever done that was racy, but I think that as far as like what's relevant right now and like what's getting Tucker into some hot water, it's the Israel subject, or more recently for him it's the World War II subject. But this is kind of this is what got, I think, Sam Hyde sort of an apolitical audience in more recent time.
Yo,
Stuff
Israel
like
and
this.
Palestine, y'all need to stay in your lane. Fix my chopped cheese and my phone screen, you hood.
This war shit got me hella tight. Them Jewish cats really hopping off the porch. I seen that shit on Twitter.
I do not discriminate. If you got weed or pussy, we partying. Yo, babe, what's the IDF? How about IDFC?
I don't freaking care. Them J boys really turning Gaza to Zaza. Smokes.
How y'all gonna praise Mohammed but make no profits? Yo, Ben Shapiro, stop posting pictures of charred brisket. That is weird, bro.
Really out here
Yeah,
shooting them
that weird
guns.
hell.
I don't know what's gonna happen next, but they straight up gonna kill that Rogers and Linsky cat.
Need me some Iron Dome.
Put a Hebrew Frank in a gyro wrap.
Make love, not war. Who should we support in the war? DM below.
$100 quadrillion in your
I like the end of that.
Yeah. So lately, Tucker's been getting into some hot water because I haven't even watched this podcast. I feel like a fucking retard going like into this without even like watching the actual interview with Tucker. But he had this like historian guy, this like guy who had some thoughts, some ideas about World War II, and he basically kind of questioned
This is Tucker you're talking about.
Tucker's guest, this historian.
Right.
On Tucker's Twitter show, X show, they basically kind of like questioned the heroism of Winston Churchill and basically questioned whether there was anything that he had to do with prolonging the war or like getting the war more escalated with his leadership role, which I I think that I stick on the side that like Churchill was good, but in this like post-reality landscape that we have, everyone's questioning everything. So I think that this interview kind of took advantage of that questioning everything, just asking questions kind of mantra, and took it to a level where now people were kind of like getting to the next level of like Hitler was misunderstood,
Uh-oh.
and
Careful.
yeah, that we went from Churchill to Hitler was misunderstood. And I haven't seen a lot of.
You don't want to get Kanye.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to get into a situation where you're going that level, and I think that that's what a lot of Tucker fans were sort of getting a little worried at. I want to try to find like a clip that like exemplifies this. Let me just type in. Let's see if someone broke it down, because I think that this is like a whole web of like different stuff that personally I haven't even watched the interview. What do you know about this, Xbala?
What are we looking at?
The whole Tucker World War II conversation.
I didn't see the episode. I think I saw some clips of it. And I really didn't see any of the aftermath from it. I just basically saw the clip as it came out.
Oh, here I found the whole thing on.
I see you boys on YouTube, lurking right now.
Yeah, give us some comments.
See y'all.
Let's talk about World War II.
Oh,
Right
thanks,
now.
man.
I'm really interested in the project that you're working on now.
Okay, so let's talk about who this guy is real quick. Daryl Cooper. Daryl Cooper, according to Tucker, may be the best and most honest popular historian in the United States. His latest project is the most forbidden of all, trying to understand World War II.
A little bit baffled by it, so I'm just going to answer my own question. So you were working on World War II.
Can you hit pause on this real quick,
which
Galen?
has to be, even more than the Kennedy assassination,
Just for some context, what I like about what Tucker's doing here possibly is World War II was probably the most momentous event we had in the last 80 to 100 years, that time range. We're on the verge of World War III. I think it's legitimate to go back and question the narrative we've been told about all of it, so we can examine it again, because we do not do we want to find ourselves in World War III? Let's look at like how we got there. So I don't have a problem with him doing this.
Yeah, I think that's a noble way of looking at it. Just because you bring up a great, excellent point that many people like me, people like Leon, don't want to find ourselves suddenly holding guns, pointing them at another side that we never even
hell
understood.
No.
Yeah,
yeah, and I'll go as far as to say, I would like to say that that's part of Meme Ranch's mission, is to find some common ground here. I don't want to see you guys involved in a war. I don't want to see my daughter involved in a war somewhere because of an argument or a misunderstanding or some sort of like pissing contest. So let's like have honest discussions about all this stuff from the past, apply it to now, and then like make the best decision possible.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of like the left is definitely trying to like stop the conversation. And that's when war really happens, when we actually stop having a conversation and we actually stop having like discussions and having debate about certain topics and shit. It's just sad that people don't even want that anymore.
That's well put. I think having somebody like Sam Hyde culturally come into the conversation as well, creatively, we're breaking down those barriers. So, I don't know if Tucker's masterminding all these moves, but I do like it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this historian has to say. So let's get into it.
the most written about event in human history. I can't think of one that has occasioned more books. So why World War II?
Well, I was giving a talk to a graduate history class at the University of Vienna a while back online, giving him a talk. And one of the things that I said to them and I was curious how this was going to go over in Austria, but it seemed to go over all right. As I told them, over the next few decades, like, look, anytime you have a historical event, for us in the United States, it's the civil rights movement, it's World War II, and to a certain degree, it's still the Civil War. Everything in between and before those things, you can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. You think that the Russians were to blame for World War I and not the Germans. You think it was all British conspiracy. You can do whatever you want. It's fine. Because that's not part of the founding mythology of the order that we're all living in at this time, right? Those other things are. And whenever you have a historical event that is mythologized, and when I say that, I don't mean myth like that's a myth, that's a lie. That's not what I mean. I mean that it's a formative part of how we all understand the world we're in, or at least officially, like the official world, like that's
the structures we live in.
Structures we live in. It's the justification for a lot of those structures, right? Whenever you have those things, you're going to have taboos. You're going to have certain ways that certain topics have to be talked about that are going to guarantee that topic is just profoundly misunderstood.
Can you hit pause, Galen?
And I
I
told
want
the students at the
to.
University of Vienna.
I want to weigh in too, but you can go ahead.
So part of what I would like to add to this discussion here is, I'm reading The Fourth Turning Is Now, and what happens in these fourth turnings, like back then and right now, we're in a fourth turning similar to World War II, or the buildup of World War II is. And they kind of alluded to the idea of all these structures we live in were decided, and that's exactly what Neil Howe he illustrates in the fourth turnings now is like once this fourth turning's done, one way or another, whoever wins, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans or somebody else, that will be a deciding point for many, many issues that we either know about right now or don't even know about yet. And I almost feel like I'm kind of optimistic because the way things have gone with the Supreme Court and, the Chevron decision and abortion and things like that, I feel like if this is true, if we're going to decide societal structures, maybe these decisions are being made right now, even though we're not fully through a fourth turning. So to me, it's like it's looking back at a similar time. And so we just ought to be aware that, whatever we're entering is going to decide how we're going to live for probably the next 80 years.
Well said. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I even can say much on top of that. I'm actually interested in now what this guy has to say more because everything I was reading online about him doesn't really match his description thus far. He seems like a very thoughtful person whenever he puts words to what he's trying to elaborate on. And I think that everything he's saying with thus far, I do believe in the mythos that we've created around our historical events. I do think that, for sake of pointing out the obvious, like anytime mass atrocity is done against a particular group of people or a country, it's like those things we have the body counts to look back at and see that there was, that was what happened. But thus far, I mean, he hasn't gotten into any questioning about, the official narrative about deaths and things like that. He's getting into the idea of, the idea that you're not allowed to even question the idea of leaders, we have to keep up with official narratives about, this leader was good at this or that. But what if they were, what we're seeing right now, even with Afghanistan, is that generals and things like that were not given transcripted interviews after the investigations. And I think that whenever you're dealing with issues where current generals are given, a little bit of a pass where it's like, hey, we're not going to transcribe, these interviews, we're going to keep it behind closed doors. Oh, by the way, we're going to give you some softball questions. The fact that even our own generals today are not being held to the highest level of scrutiny, I think it gives some credence to being like, yeah, we should be able to look back on, narratives about leaders in the past.
I want to chime in. Hyde and Tucker is the change we need in 2024. Absolutely
true.
I'm excited. What happens.
On Jaw.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be reacting to that. So definitely keep your alarm bells ready. Click that bell. Click that like button.
Yeah,
if you're
don't
watching
forget
this.
to join our Discord. We got a link for it down in the description. If you can't find it there, I'll go ahead and just fucking link that bitch, because I know motherfuckers like me are lazy sometimes.
Yeah, I need to put that in the description.
And we have notifications of when we're on and stuff like that. If that do happen, then you'll know about it, because we're gonna be talking about it.
Yeah, let's dive back into this, because I'm interested in hearing what this guy has to say.
Do it.
Okay.
I said over the next couple decades.
You guys mind if I speed it up just a tad?
Go for it.
All right.
I don't know if my ADHD.
We're going to get to a point where
right.
the interwar period and the Second World War are far enough away that people can actually start taking a more honest look at everything that went on. And it is going to be the most fruitful place that any aspiring historian can dive into, because we spent the last 70 years, I mean, in Europe's case, like literally throwing people in jail for looking into the wrong corners, right? So there's and even
particularly in Austria.
Right. And so even in the United States.
It was an invaded country, so I'm not exactly sure why it's so important.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's a big topic. But I mean, even the United States, where you're not going to go to jail necessarily for doing that. You might have your life ruined and lose your job.
You might absolutely go to jail in this country.
Nowadays, you might, yeah. But, you could write a book. You could take any angle on it you want. You're not going to ever get a job or have a publisher want to publish it or anything, but you could do it. You can go out on the street corner and stand on a box and say whatever it is you think. But even still, that event is really, it's such a core part of the state religion that there are emotional triggers built into people since childhood that almost prevent them from taking an approach that might lead them to information or to conclusions that are not part of the state religion's version of that event. And again, you're going to find that. I'm sure the Peloponnesian Wars were like that for the ancient Greeks.
That's right. Well, by the way, the American Revolution, which is now totally irrelevant to modern America, unfortunately, was like that. The life of Lincoln was like that. Lincoln was an very complicated guy. It's not an endorsement of slavery. Well, speaking for myself, I think slavery is disgusting. It's the worst thing. What you're saying is absolutely right. It's not just the Second World War that is sort of uniquely censored or protected. The mythology around it, it's every event that's central to a nation's understanding of itself, and then that changes over time. So do you think that we are far enough away, 80 years from that war, where you can try to take as an objective a look as you can, and that will be allowed?
No, I don't. I think we've got a little ways to go on that, but I hope I can kind of start to break the ice a little bit, because like here's the problem with doing something like that. And this is something I'm very aware of as I research it and start to work on the project, is that when you have a mythologized historical event that is told, that is, I mean, again, you go to a lot of places in Europe, it's a legal requirement. Over here, it's not quite that, but it almost might as well be, where that this event is going to be described from a certain perspective. You're going to approach it a certain way. There are just certain things you're not allowed to question. You have to...
literally, it's a crime to ask questions,
right.
Yes.
Then whenever that's the case, when you try to add any type of balance to that account, when you try to tell the story in a way that brings other approaches and other perspectives into it, it's going to look like you're trying to justify those other things. That's just how it's going to seem to people who are very locked into this side. And so if you start talking about the interwar period and how the Weimar culture, after the First World War, led to something like the rise of the National Socialists, and why the people who embraced that movement did embrace it in a way that's not just, was because they were, you had this country, Germany, a sophisticated cultural, superpower that was fine, and then they all turned into demons for a few years and now they're fine again. Like that's sort of.
What is controversial about this historian and Tucker talking?
So the general reaction from like even a lot of conservatives were, and we haven't really gotten that far into the interview, but just that, I think the biggest thing was questioning the narrative around Churchill. And I think that there's a lot of people who are stewards to like the history of World War II, where it's like, I think that they are a little bit scared that even if you, just talk about some figure alone in World War II, that it verges on bleeding into questioning other narratives about the war.
It's got to be more than just that. It's got to be that this guy's probably from coming from a place that mainstream doesn't trust, possibly.
That too. I want to. I think that that's an important part of it, but I think that there's already so many denialists and like other aspects of like World War II that people just get a little worried because there's so much other like heavy weight that's like tied into the entire event, that if you question like a big narrative of it, then what's going to prevent someone from going even further? And I think that this is an interesting crossroads too, because I was having this conversation today and remember like in 2020, like whenever the mob like wanted to like tear down the old statues of figures and leaders of people in
Still trying
America.
to do it, yes.
Yeah, still trying to do that. Like I think that there's a little bit of a worry if people like to the right now are raising questions about historical figures, even though Churchill is only a American by an honorary decree, basically by Congress. Churchill is viewed by many people in the establishment as a figure that is, you know, just as American as apple pie because of what he did.
Well, he was half American.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So there's, I mean, like he's basically, you know, everything about Churchill, you know, like lives, breathes, and screams American. So I think that all of that is a little bit uncomfortable for some people to, you know, bring someone like him into like a questioning, you know, point of view. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I'm just thinking about how in postmodernism we have all this ability to question narratives, like the overarching narrative of what is true is no longer valued in postmodern society. Yet, there's still things we can't touch. I mean, there is an official narrative, apparently, that you can't touch.
Did we succumb to postmodernism? Did we let it take over and permeate?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely we did. I mean, look at the gender war, the political.
No, I mean, but do we actively do that? Like, is that something that's actively is that what the main enemy is? Because I've heard some people say that, but I don't know if that's true.
I think my point about it is it's selectively done, because when this guy he's obviously operating in the realm of academia and narrative, but if you look at let's look at gaming. What do we do with World War II in gaming? Can you guys tell me?
We commercialize it.
Probably.
We'd be playing Call of Duty out here.
I mean, but we're not sticking to some sort of official narrative. I mean, it's like all over the place. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you can create a whole new narrative in a game environment, and they do.
Oh, I love what they did with Battlefield 1 whenever they put a woman on the cover and she's like a female soldier.
Yeah, so it's perfectly okay to completely change reality when we get into realms of gaming or maybe even movies. But in academia, it's like, I would almost say it's like fine art. They don't want anyone coming out with a counter narrative. They want to maintain a grip on what the story is according to them.
See, question Churchill, you get the Scarlet Letter. But question this. Wait, what?
Exactly.
Can I get a zoom in? You guys see that?
Mama.
See my point?
You get the point, though. Yeah.
So at the one, it's like ultimate gaslighting, because the one minute they're saying you can't change what reality, what history is, because that is history, but yet in this other part of culture, this other corner of culture, it's whatever we tell you over here.
Yeah. But man, if this guy full on like starts like, you know, sick heiling out here, I'm gonna be like, man, Tucker.
Yo, hold on.
I'll be like, Tucker, come on.
That doesn't happen.
Story, and I think deep down we all know that makes no sense. Everything has a cause. You know, again, to go back, like Uday Hussein got to be Uday Hussein from that 3-year-old little kid. Jim Jones got to be Jim Jones from being that guy who was just an earnest local Indianapolis civil rights activist. They all got to be those people that led to the chaos that they eventually invited into the world and onto themselves and their people through their experiences in the world, and through a series of decision points that at the time, if you can bring yourself to step into the shoes of those people, and it's not a comfortable thing to do. I mean, I literally listened to probably 2,000 hours of Jim Jones's sermons and him screaming at his people and just going insane to the point where I was dreaming about this guy for months. I would have my headphones.
He's saying that he listened to that many hours of the Jonestown guys' sermons.
I wonder if he drank Kool-Aid listening to it.
That's what historians have to do. I mean, this guy is he's like the Egon Shalakian researcher of like the big leagues.
I want everyone to know that that was Kaylin bringing up Egon.
Yeah, that was me. I know I always say I don't want to bring up Egon, but that was a funny one. That was a funny bit. Jesus, man.
Do we?
Oh, Jesus, all right.
Wait, come on.
Are you trying to make it go?
I'm trying to make the thumb go. Come on.
Do two of them. Do two of them like up high. There you go. That's what it is. I think it's something like that.
Come on. There we go.
There you
There
go.
you go. Hell yeah.
I can do it. I can do it. Yeah, no. Yeah, but okay. So, what do you guys, Leon? What do you think of this guy so far?
Oh, this guy, I'm looking at you right now. You're looking like a fucking like
Sonic
a Minecraft
fan.
character right now.
I'm looking like a Sonic fan out here.
Yeah, your fucking camera's going wild with the connection. Oh, man. Honestly, I can't really
Not much.
I can't really put too much on what. Yeah, I feel like what y'all have said is pretty well said.
Do you have any
You know,
more?
it's interesting.
Go ahead.
It was interesting. This is like a fourth wall, but like you were telling me last night, you couldn't hear my mic, but on the video it sounded fine.
I don't know.
I could. I don't know. I think he just couldn't for some reason.
I think it dropped off for a minute, and maybe I overreacted.
Lol.
Okay.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Headphones in as I was working, listening to Jim Jones. And it's really hard. Yeah, I know.
Are you the only guy in the office doing that?
I think I'm probably the only person in the world that's done that. And so, like, and I got to the point where I felt like I knew this guy. I could notice from tape to tape, I would hear changes in his tone of voice, and I knew whether he was high on amphetamines that day or if he had taken his barbiturates already. And now I felt like I knew this guy. And their tapes, by the way, they're not all from like 1 year. They're from like 15, 20 years, right? So you can watch this process of a descent into madness as it's happening. And, you know, to get to a point where you can bring yourself to step into the shoes of any other human being and understand that as much as it makes you uncomfortable, it is just a human being. And at the very, very like base level, their motivations are the same as yours. Their needs are the same as yours. But that we're a multivariate species that can go a lot of different directions, right? And to be able to do that and force yourself to do it is the key. And so when you do something like that with, I mean, again, like a historical event like World War II, where, I mean, the one rule is that you shall not do that. You shall not look.
Did I get the impression that he just like talked about humans as species?
Yep, you did.
What the fuck?
I caught that too. I thought that's an odd way to.
That's a little. Put on my thinking cap right now.
Wait a minute.
Hold
I like
up.
where this is going.
Yo. Aegon Shalakian hours.
This guy is
Although what he said did make me feel better about Aegon, though. He's just a
guy's
person.
definitely a space lizard.
Oh, this guy.
Get Alex Jones in here right now.
He kind of looks like he could be a lizard.
This guy is a lizard. I swear to God.
There's gonna be two versions of our audience. The ones that tuned out when we were like, you know, curiously interested, and then like now we're like kind of like skeptical, like what?
They're turning a freaking frog.
But I mean, this is what we're doing. We're going through this guy's video because I honestly think people just kind of like clung to whoever they trusted and believed whenever they came to their views on this. And I think that the truth is somewhere in the middle. It's just a weird interview. Maybe. Did he talk about? It's not like he referred to people as different species.
Oh, was it different or just humans in general?
I guess like a charitable view of it is he was like talking about people like he was talking about their motivations as like different.
Yeah, I read it as just
different drivers. People are driven by different.
Right.
People are driven by different things. Okay.
Look at this topic and try to understand how the Germans saw the world, like how the whole thing from the First World War on up to the very end of the war, how these people might have genuinely felt.
You know
they were
what
the
that's
ones under
called?
attack.
I feel like a smartass, but you know what the German how to say worldview in German language?
Something.
Weltanschauung.
Weltanschauung. Wait, are you a German speaker?
No, I was just taught that by a media professor. That they were the ones being victimized by their neighbors and by all these by the Allied powers. You know, and you can handle that into a sentence. You know, you can wave it off and say, well, you know, they're justifying themselves, or they're rationalizing their evil, or whatever you want to say. But again, I think we're getting to the point where that's very unsatisfying for people.
Most of us, well, actually all of us, go through our daily lives using all sorts of, quote, free technology without paying attention to why it's, quote, not a true...
Do I have any more...
Child.
Oh, well.
Mitts. He loves
Do you guys want to pivot to some Sam content?
Sounds like
Yeah, I think we
you're
should, just
YouTube
because
cooking
that,
right
that
now.
is our thumb.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got kind of into that.
So what do you got for us, Kalen?
I got some fucking green text for y'all.
I wanted to pull up Sam Hyde's stand-up from like a long time ago.
You said his stand-up from a long time ago is similar to what you just saw in DC.
No, actually, I think it was worse. Honestly, I mean, like his stand-up from a long time ago was worse.
More offensive.
Yeah, just like more like bizarrely offensive.
Towards Indians?
No, toward like just other things. I'll show you. Sorry.
Hey Leon, while he's pulling that up, what'd you think of the videos I sent in the text?
I don't have my phone on me.
It was about doing.
Let's see, we got here.
It was that Basquiat deal, and then how Kanye's.
I saw the Jaden Smith thing, sort of.
Tequila buff closet.
My fuck. The hell is this?
Williams for extreme passion and an inconvenient anime. Here tonight. Everybody, this is $1 Million Extreme.
What is this, man? What is this, man?
This is the earliest Sam Hyde stand-up that I know of. There might be older sets out there, but this is like the one that is very infamous.
This is all that Tucker Carlson is now embracing.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. My name is Charles Carroll, also known as Richard Windsor. Richard Windsor, look him up. It's great to be back here. It's been a long time. I feel really safe. It's been a minute since I've been to New
This
York.
is really interesting, though, because this is very much similar to how the format went, how Charles opened for Sam.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was very much similar. It was like they were kind of drawing back to their old formula, which was, it's not like it's that complicated. It's just, like having their crew open for each other. Although I'm not sure if Nick is part of this one. But Charles had a dark...
Charles got more hair back then.
Yeah.
New York. It's fucking cool. And that's not what I came here to talk about, okay? I want to talk about something else.
All right, this is a quick opener.
Some people might consider him more than a man. Some people might consider him a freak. I don't, and I don't think you should either. His name is Sam Hyde. He's a $1 Million Extreme.
It's called the privileged white male.
Boy. Yeah, we've seen some great comedy tonight. I think we saw some really cool stuff. I personally have never seen anything quite as cool as what I've seen today. Can we get a big round of applause for everybody that's gone up so far? And wow.
Hell yeah.
Really generous round of applause. I don't think we have enough. I think you can do a
Former
little bit more.
artist says he was at the LA NBA show.
How was it?
Boy, I can't tell you how happy.
Yeah, do you remember? I was at the DC one, former artist, and I'm just wondering, do you remember what the setup was like? Who opened for who? I remember it was Chris, Charles, Nick, Sam. I think that was the order. But yeah, man, that show was so funny.
So what we're about to watch, you said it's a little more. This was less offensive than what they're doing now.
No, this is more offensive because it's like the crowd wasn't into it, and it was like
this video.
Yeah, this video that we're watching is very edgy for its time, and I think the crowd that was inside this room was there were a lot of like SJWs and stuff like that.
And then you said that when you talked to them after the show, they described their tour as being kind of hit and miss, right? Like the DC crowd was pretty good.
Well, the couple days prior, they had like a North Carolina show where like only less than 100 people showed up, and the DC show was sold out. and I'm sure that LA show was probably sold out this time
Didn't-
too. Yes, Alex definitely was the best of the night.
That's what you
he's
said to me already, like after the show.
Yeah, I said that immediately after.
Independent verification.
And
Nice.
Alex was so cool to talk to afterwards. Like he was just talking to people.
Yeah,
aside.
just so you know, commenter, that we have a podcast we did with Alex right after he directed season 2 of World Peace, and it's on this channel.
Yeah, check out that video.
He was super gracious and cool to come on with us.
I'll link to it here in a second. I'm gonna play this video though, so you guys can hear this.
Yeah, let's
the
play
joke.
this.
Happy I am being in a room full of hipster faggots right now. You guys, you get knocked for a lot of things. I think you sort of live in this fantasy world where everything's fun. And I saw an Asian kid, like a Southeast Asian kid in a tank top driving a Porsche Cayenne with like a black vinyl wrap around it, and it made me realize I want to kill everybody in here. But you guys, that's the only reason I think can knock you guys. I mean, you have good taste, and I'm not here to knock you. I'm here to defend you and be your friend. You have good taste. You listen to the best music. Is that true? That's true, isn't it? Can you blow? Okay, here's me right here. I listen to top 40 radio hits. I want you to blow my mind by telling me.
They do have a big audience now.
Right now, look, come on, man, impress these people. You're gonna get pussy. You're gonna get so much pussy later. Ew, really? Come on, don't let me down. What's a good band here? I like the Mountain Goats. I can't make fun of you because that's that band. They're probably the best. They're probably a damn good band. You have the best taste, and when it comes to comedy, it's no different. You got great comedy here.
Dude, that's crazy. I think I haven't watched this video in a while, but I think I subconsciously kind of like stopped listening to the Mountain Goats after I heard this bit. Because I used to like that band when I was younger, and my friend asked me if I wanted to go see them recently, and I told him I was like, I used to listen to them. And I just heard that joke again for like the first time in a long time. That's funny. It's hilarious.
I'm going to do something a little different tonight, and I'm going to count on you all being open-minded. I know you're all probably liberals, but I know you're also probably open-minded, which means you'll listen to something different, and you'll give it a chance, and you might hear a few things that you agree with, or you might reject it entirely, and that's fine. I don't blame you for that, but I know you're not going to shut me down right away when I start to speak from the heart here, okay? Hold on a second. Homosexual behavior is antisocial and not at all linked to physical desire. Funny. Okay. Guys, this is a serious issue that's kind of fucking up the country right now. We got to talk about it. Homosexuality is a manifestation of intense perversion and antisocial attitudes. Okay. Now, I don't expect you to take that as proof right away, but
I think some people walk out. Yeah, I'm not sure if it shows it. Any thoughts so far about the main act?
Dude, he's hitting it, bro. I mean, I get what he means.
Yeah, this is like tough pill to swallow, Sam.
Based red pill.
I definitely not a things I had to say. Yes, you can't believe what you're hearing right now. Wow. So, oh my God. That's the way I feel when I see Rachel Maddow talking about lesbians raising kids together. I feel like that's what I look like when I watch TV. Now, you guys are familiar with Kinsey, right? You did all those experiments on child sexuality in the 60s. Anyway, one of the things they did get was a clear picture of what homosexuality really is. And out of the percentage of the population that we say is queer, which would be about 8 to 10%, only about 1%, a very, very small amount of people are people who are actually genetically predisposed to liking butts, making butt promises. The rest are just perverted freaks. Let's think about why is rape so prevalent in prisons, in male-on-male rape, okay? All across America, you have millions of people without access to females. They don't have girlfriends, but they masturbate. They don't go around raping each other. So it's not a lack of access to females that causes this. It's that homosexuality is a decidedly aggressive outlet of anger or social anxiety, okay? Why else do gay men have so many sex partners? They have sex partners in the hundreds compared to the average hetero assortment of 5 to 15 sex partners. With me, it's a higher number, but has anybody ever heard of AIDS patient zero? Anybody? You probably heard of this guy, okay? His name was Gaten Dugas. And
this is crazy. I forgot that it went this deep.
Good Lord. This is fucking cutting hard.
I watched this video, but it's been a long time. I agree. I forgot.
Holy
I mean,
fuck.
I think honestly, maybe I just like have a demented humor. I think this is really funny. I think it was this is like because look at the TED Talk. I mean, everyone knows Sam from the TED Talk. Everyone thought that was like really.
Oh my god, yes, dude, that's so fucking good.
See, that's good, but like, think about it. Like this man, this individual, he could have bombed with this and just been like, I'm not going to do this shit ever again. And then he probably would have. No, he did, but I'm not saying like but I'm saying he bombed, but he didn't give up. And I think that it's interesting because the fact that he kept going on and like pushing the limits, but in a more palatable way. I think when you look back on this, like, this is really funny. And this is kind of like the joke where like the punchline doesn't set in until like 15 years later.
Well, now society's become a joke. So truly is a Joker type archetype.
Yeah, but it's definitely not like, I don't know. This isn't as funny as Joe Rogan. I'm gonna say.
What? Oh my god, you didn't just.
Can we put on some Joe right now?
I mean, honestly, the only thing I like of Joe is the last thing he did when he sounds just like Alex Jones. Other than that, that's the first time I've heard him be funny.
Yeah, I think that
when he's talking about the globalist,
Hawk Tua, when she went on Joe Rogan, that was really funny.
I didn't even know that happened.
I completely missed that.
I don't know if it's happened yet, but
I don't even care. I just don't care about Joe Rogan.
Speaking it into existence. Leon is sleeping. He's bored.
Gay. No, I'm just actually just really homosexual right now. My homo rapist thug. What the hell are you talking about?
Did Sam Hyde hurt your feelings? Tell us where Sam Hyde hurt you.
Well, he said that homosexuals only fuck because they're scared. It's not true. Okay. I fuck because I like to do anal.
Is there a point in the video when people get up and walk out? Is that what happens with the triggered?
I don't know. We can like scroll through it. That's why I wanted to play it on higher speed, because hang on a second. What the heck is happening? My computer's only letting me right click. There we go.
1 to 3% of the total U.S. population is homosexual. 1 to 3% of the general population commits 1/3 of. A good point.
Wait, hang on. There's like, this is like a behind the scenes.
Yeah, let's do normal.
Literally the worst of the internet personified. Log off. You don't want to. You wouldn't take me up on that? Sorry, I don't know. No. It's like I like your name. Not saying you know, remember Red Dragon? Yeah, here's like I want to be a original with Mike, with Brian Cox, people are murdered, and William Peterson.
Colorado.
I don't know his character. Laramie.
Have you ever heard of the city of Laramie? Do you know anything about Matthew Shepard?
That was like 20 years ago,
and it still happens to this day.
Where does it? Where did the crimes have happened?
Last month, a guy was shot in the East West Village as he was called a faggot.
Have you read
last month?
In the past month, hate
Your
crimes
fault,
against
man.
the LGBT community are still happening.
They have doubled in this year alone in this city.
What kind of shit
doubled?
do you live in?
It is so easy to not be an asshole.
Or you can't take a joke.
Don't say that.
Don't defend the word faggot. It's that
Kids
simple.
all the time. There are psychopaths everywhere. There's murderers everywhere.
Spoken like a piece of shit.
Why does it matter who the rationality
Spoken like a
behind it?
true
It's
piece of
murder.
Dude, his voice has changed so much. It's kind of crazy.
I think he's a little
noticed that?
defensive.
I think okay, but like
Have you noticed
that's where the criticism of Sam, that's where like the criticism rabbit hole like begins, is like people who like look back at his old videos and they're like, oh man, that was some pussy ass shit the way he was talking, you know, like but I think that's like, I have a friend who basically thinks like Sam was like just like the weird kid in like high school who like never like did anything, and like all this is like compensating for like how he, like his upbringing and things like that. Like he
Man,
has a very cynical.
I know people like that. They're fucking actual losers.
What people who think that about Sam, or
no people that they like they didn't do anything most of their life, and now they're kind of like compensating in their fucking mid-20s, trying to fucking do all this bullshit that doesn't really fucking matter anyways, and their lives are just fucking boring and miserable. I think these people are just trying to project.
Yeah, I think it's funny because
like
even for like, as you know, difficult I think as of a set it is for people to go through compared to most Sam Hyde sets. I think that seeing the reaction to the public and like how they were so triggered that they were almost like harassing him, to the point where it's like Sam actually, like in this like youthful state, kind of sounds, it's like you don't agree with the reaction that's being delivered to him, but also like he kind of sounds like a bitch, so you're just kind of left being like, I don't know, you know, like it's just cringe, you know.
Dude, his voice has changed so much. Have you noticed that?
I kind of want to hear a little bit more of this.
About hate crimes. That is the worst argument for anything ever.
The rationale behind it doesn't matter. Someone's life has been taken away. That's all that really matters.
Oh, so
the intent behind it doesn't matter. Tell that to the court of law.
What if he said, I really like homosexuals, and then he shot him, and it was a love crime? Who gives a fuck?
The court does. That's for one thing.
Do you live in real life, or do you live in some shithead internet world?
I live in a shithead internet world.
Exactly. There you go.
So jump off the Williamsburg Bridge and you'd be more valuable to.
That's a hate crime.
Jesus Christ.
For my beliefs,
Okay,
that's a
so
hate
everything
crime.
that guy literally just
He's
said,
trying to
protecting the
tell me to
homosexuals, has no meaning now.
Right, exactly.
When you start involving not a death threat, but you know, like involving them in death to make their value less because of what they're saying. That's fucking bullshit.
But on the
They're
flip
just mad
side,
because they don't fucking agree with them, and they're just a bunch of fucking pussies that need to own up to that shit.
on the flip side, it would have been funnier if that guy was not getting as butthurt about the jokes, and if he like made like a joke, you know, it's like
maybe if you riffed off that.
Yeah, it's like if you can riff off of it, then it's like then you can like start the duel. But it's like if your reaction is just to act like a sad angry bitch to whatever comedy,
offended, and you know, I mean, it's a fucking comedy show. It's a comedy show. We're meant to laugh. Like none of this is like extreme intent. It's like it's for a fucking laugh, man. You got to learn to like not be offended by that shit. If I go to fucking something that I didn't like I went to a fucking drag show like last month. I didn't really like it, but you know what? I didn't fucking stand there and like was like getting offended and like was talking shit to all those people. No, man. I could have, but I don't, because I'm there to kind of like respect what's going on, regardless if I agree with it or not.
And that's the thing that I think holds a lot of comedians back right now, is like the fact that all comedy is just like a formulaic, you know, making fun of something at the expense of the other thing. And like if you like most of the funniest jokes that like Chappelle or like a more mainstream comedian, like anyone, like even like a woke, even like a woke comedian, they're always making a joke at the expense of something. So if that's all comedy is, then why whenever the subject matter changes to something that you don't like, it just suddenly becomes like this like trigger war, you know? Like that's the thing, because it's always going to be about how the crowd receives it. And there were
crazy
even
how people now are like just hopping on this train, like, yeah, fuck Dave Chappelle, you know, he doesn't speak for the black community, blah blah blah, because he said that you just shouldn't get offended because it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, we just basically kind of flamed like every modern living comedian. But my reaction to this is still like, I'm glad that Sam's voice changed, because, you know.
I'm just trying to understand how the fuck that happened. He was like fucking like 20 something in this, right?
Yeah.
I think he just learned not to get on his heels, stand his ground, and just be like, "This is the joke," because he doesn't try to explain the humor anymore. Not that he needed to then. I guess he's in Brooklyn. Sounds like we're in Brooklyn.
Shit's fogging up.
Do you guys want to hear my voice from like 12 years ago? It sounds exactly the same today.
Dude, let's go. Let's see it.
Proud of you.
I feel like mine has changed a little bit, just a little bit. Now I just sound like Dave Franco.
Let me see if I can.
This is
find
true. Dave Franco actually sounds like you, Leon.
Yeah, apparently.
All right, I was just talking about some bullshit in this video, but I just wanted to.
Fucking League. Oh, you were a virgin. Holy
I think this is only the very start. So far you can see that it's a ranged character, as
Mid.
you can probably tell just by the way it
I don't really
looks,
feel
but
like playing
it's
jungle.
one of the most unique characters I think in this game as far as looks go, because
I'm a little bit more like a
it
teenager.
just looks like
Not much.
I don't know, like the Guardian.
The Guardian.
Do you even know what you're talking about in here?
Dude, I was never a professional Dota player, so I was probably just talking to my ass. But that game was fun.
I'm talking out my ass right now, actually. My butthole is expanding.
Will you guys call it on this one?
It's after
Sure
10:30,
can.
but we have 6 people on YouTube right now, so thank you guys for sticking through the whole thing.
What's up?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Don't forget to join
throw-
the motherfucking Discord. Don't forget
Throw
to
up an
check out-
outro.
Don't forget to add, get some of this.
Yeah, we're gonna actually follow the Sam Hyde, Tucker Carlson thread more. Kalen's met them, met him in Washington D.C. We've done a podcast with Alex for World Peace 2, and we'll probably, hopefully, be doing more with these guys in the future. So, fans of the comedy and their work, and let's see where it goes. We need Sam Hyde, Tucker Carlson. I want to see Sam Hyde in the White House in 2025.
Jesus
I
Christ.
want to see that happen.
He'll hand
I
deliver
want
the
to see,
gold
I want
hat.
to see him get Trump in a headlock.
Sam Hyde in the White House with Trump with the gold MAGA hat.
The gold mat. Yeah, there you go.
They're both wearing gold MAGA hats, actually.
They're both, yes. That
Man,
would be epic.
that would be a beautiful painting. That'd be sick.
We can get Scott Libido to do it.
Yeah.
That guy. Do you have his Instagram? Oh my god.
Shout out Scott Libido.
Is that how you
All
say
right.
his name?
No, it's Libido.
No.
Libido.
All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow around noon, and hopefully we'll catch you guys then.
Peace out.
See y'all.